Yo, what's up you guys, and welcome back to another edition of TF2 Loadouts. So as you guys know, I like to put out at least one of these a year. They're fun little easy videos I can make in between bigger projects, and it's just a cool way for me to display all of these different looks that I put together for the different characters. They're not really always based on the best weapon set, but a lot of times they're just based upon like a cool look for the character, and you guys get ideas, I get ideas from you guys, so it's a lot of fun, and without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Alright, so starting off with the Scout. So, yeah, this was basically me trying to put together like the edgiest loadout I could think of. Once the fuel injector came out, I got excited. I had to make something for it. Funny enough, I actually made a good loadout that I like, because this actually reminds me of like a young Bane. You know, like there's a scene of young Bane from like an older Batman movie before he got juiced up, and this kind of reminds me of that, so I kind of like it. Not too shabby. Going on to loadout B. This, to me, looks just like the pirate from Pirates of the Caribbean. What was his name? William Turner, yeah. This reminds me of, like, William Turner. Like, it honestly looked like that's what they were trying to base this cosmetic off of. And just for comparison, I'll put, like, a picture of him on the side right now. So, yeah, that's my William Turner pirate loadout. Moving on to loadout C. This is just kind of like my Scout, like college campus kid, you know, the young jock Scout, which, you know, of all the loadouts I have, this probably fits the Scout's theme probably the best. But yeah, Scout just has a lot of cosmetics like these that just kind of look like the young kid on the block, so it's kind of cool. And loadout D, I'm not entirely sure exactly what I was trying to make here, but I think what this ended up being is like my Dr. Robotnik Scout, you know, with the mustache and the eye thing, and yeah, and so I ended up giving him like some goofy weapons he can use too, like the Necromasher, and you know, like if Dr. Robotnik was in this game, he'd probably use like a laser gun, so, or a giant robot, but Scout doesn't have that yet. We'll wait for an update. Moving on to the Soldier. This is my pirate loadout that I've had for probably at least the loadout video before this, the year before, but what did change is I got this Damascus mahogany skin donated to me from a patron, and it has the unusual effect, the hot effect, so it was a really cool paint that someone gave me, and they said put on anything you want, and so I chose this rocket launcher, and I've gotten some compliments on it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, it typically always sticks with this loadout. Moving on to loadout B. This is just like my soldier police loadout, soldier cop. I don't know, it's goofy looking, but yeah, I like to use this from time to time, and I love using the Beggar's Bazooka from time to time. It's a fun weapon. Loadout C. This is actually just inspired from like a player that I saw in game. Like I was in like a game of Dust Bowl. This dude just jumps out in front of me wearing this, and I remember I was just like, whoa, that looks legit. And so like immediately after that game, I was like, I gotta put that together. I gotta steal that loadout. So props to that guy, whoever that was. And on to loadout D. This is like my airstrike soldier. Typically, you know, when you're using the base jumper as soldier, it's really fun to use the airstrike with it to get like, you know, all those shots off at once. So I figured I would make like, you know, a kind of like a themed soldier loadout to go with that. Moving on to the Pyro. These are probably some of my more unique, weird loadouts. So the Neptune's Nightmare has existed forever, right? But I just didn't want to get it at first because I thought it like looked too edgy, but I don't know, the more I kept seeing it, the more I was like, man, that's cool. So anyways, what I ended up doing was throwing together this cosmetic with it and painting it lime green, so that at least it's a little unique and that the eyes blare out a little bit more. But it's a really cool loadout, and you know, props to anyone that uses this, honestly. Moving on to loadout B. This is probably one of my more cursed loadouts, honestly. This is your father. This is your father. This is the Pyro. He's your father. Yeah, that's all I got to say about that one. Loadout C. This is my space Pyro that I've kept for like years and years. It's just really cool. Every now and then I might swap up the helmet or something, but other than that, I just really like the look of this Pyro. So this one will probably stay for as long as I have TF2. They'd have to make something really cool for me to replace that. And loadout D, this is, you guessed it, this is my Sans Pyro. Once they've released this cosmetic, I just was like, you know, would be cool? That kind of looks like Sans. That kind of, I wonder if I could make that in game. And sure enough, you know, here's a side-by-side. It's got the pink slippers, got the coat, and it's got the head. So, yeah. Sans Pyro, Sans Pyro, Sans Pyro, Sans Pyro. Moving on to my demo. This is like my demo night type of loadout. I know it's not the typical like night look, but I use the Tide Turner, so I figure with that, I like to keep the pirate theme going, even though I use a 9-iron, but it's just because it's like one of the best melee weapons, honestly. So, you know, it gives you health, it increases your speed, so I keep that with my whole loadout. It's a pirate with a 9-iron. That's the theme. Loadout B, you know, I don't think I've ever used this for a loadouts video before, but this was like one of my earlier most favorite cosmetic loadouts for the demo. It was like this shaman look. So I put it together for this one. And yeah, it's a shame. You don't see this type of loadout too often in game anymore. Loadout C, this is like my alpha male demo. You know, he's got the buff arms, he's got the chest hair showing, the shades. He's got the Buck Turner All-Stars. But also to go with that, just to really flex on everybody in the game and, you know, display that alpha male energy. You gotta flex the big dick energy sign, you know? Excuse me, the big eggplant energy. And Loadout D, this is just like my demo samurai that I've had year after year. I think originally, for like maybe one of my first loadout videos, this had an unusual with it, but this is just one of my favorites. It's another one of those ones that I just can't seem to let go of. It's a really good loadout, in my opinion. And you can kind of vary it up, though. You can change, you know, the mask and make it look a little bit different. Like that, yeah. See, now he's got like an epic mustache. Alright, moving on to the heavy, what probably a lot of you guys came to see. So typically these are a lot of variations of Big Joey mostly, but this year I got a special donation. So as some of you might know, I'm a big fan of pro wrestling, and a patron actually donated me this Mask of Rey Mysterio. So it's the mask with the unusual effect, purple energy. It looks really cool. I think I might have actually added purple paint to it just to really add to the effect. But yeah, and so to go with the theme of a pro wrestler, I put the heavy lifter on him, and I gave him my NHBL YouTube Championship belt. That was my, you know, belt that I won for heavy boxing in the NHBL when we were doing like the YouTube fights, say with Bearded Expense or Pyro Joe or lastly Rider Cycle. Loadout B, this is one of the first of my Big Joey sets. So typically you always see Big Joey with the sunglasses, but because of this donation I got, the Black Thunder, I got the, you know, the Electroshocked War Paint, and then I added a Pro Killstreak kit to it. But the problem was the Deadly Daffodil with the Firehorns combo would like clip through the sunglasses, and it made it look really weird, so I decided to make this the one loadout of Big Joey where he doesn't have the sunglasses on, and to be honest, it's kind of terrifying. Moving on to Loadout C. This is more of the typical Big Joey look. However, this is my loadout for when I use my minigun, the stock minigun. So this is typically like when I'm going to attack a room that has, you know, a lot of people, but it's in like maybe a narrower space. So when it's close range like this, I like to use my stock mini. And for the stock mini, I have a tiger buffed war paint, but it's black and white, and it's got the isotope effect. And it's pretty cool. It's just like all like Beetlejuice themed, so I named it Beetlejuice. It's got purple, it's got white, black, green. And yeah, I really like it. And then moving on to, of course, the stock Big Joey, the jungle booty, gray bands wearing, white Russian Big Joey. However, I did change up the unusual. I don't know if this dates back to last year or not, but basically I got donated a white Russian Vivid Plasma, and since I got that, I have replaced my old Terra White Russian. So for those of you who don't know, this is the unusual I now use. This is the one you'll see me with in-game. And of course, I got my Tomislav with me, the Zeus's Acrimony. It now has 84,000 kills on it. Hoping to get to 100,000, at least before, you know, if I ever was to retire from TF2 or whatever, which honestly I'm going to play this game for a long, long time. I at least hope to get this over 100,000 though. Moving on to my engineer sets. This is like my goofy, like, old western set for the engineer. I've had like stuff similar to this, but this is just one of the funniest ones I put together. The Allfather with the comfortable El Mustachio just really came out well. I like it a lot. And actually you probably might have seen this in my last video right before this one. Loadout B, this is like my robotic engineer set. Not much different changed here. I switched out one of my cosmetics to the Pip-Boy though, and I like to keep it kind of futuristic. So I've got the Gunslinger for his hand, I've got the Killstreak Capper for his weapon of choice, and then, well, the random shotgun, but that's one of my favorites. This is also like my aggressive loadout for the engineer. Moving on to Loadout C. This is my realistic engineer set because my stepdad is actually involved in engineering, and I've seen these type of I don't know what you'd call these things, like maps, like, you know, whatever these are, but engineers use these, so I fill them to the brim in the back there, and also on his belt here, and kind of gave him, like, you know, he's kind of like a balding, he's got like a pencil in his ear, you know, it's a realistic set for an engineer. And finally onto Loadout D. This is my cute suit Engie that's just kind of like random looking. This kind of looks like this should be an action figure when you put it like with the right cosmetics. But I decided to change one thing about it this year, make it a little bit more terrifying, and I added the socks with sandals combination, just to let everybody know I'm not messing around. This is a terrifying, terrifying individual. Moving on to my medic sets. This is like the German general loadout. It's just something cool I threw together. I like it, but since I don't play medic, unfortunately, a lot, I don't get to see a lot of action with this one. Moving on to Loadout B. I feel like this has probably been made over and over by a lot of different medics, but it's just a cool combination to have. This is basically like, it looks like a warlock or sorcerer type loadout for the medic, and I've definitely seen these before in game, but it's just really cool looking. Loadout C, I've had this since the last year. This is like my vampire hunter, dark world, I don't know, type of medic, but it's just really edgy and cool looking. And then finally, Loadout D. This is my like horror movie like butcher loadout for the medic. Like, when you throw it together with the Vitasaw like this and just have him looking at you like that, it's pretty menacing, to be honest. It's pretty horrific. Moving on to the sniper. Yeah. So as soon as the Mislad sweater, the Mislade, I don't know how you pronounce that sweater, came out, and the missing piece, I immediately thought of Waldo for this, as I'm sure other people did. I thought, I've got to put this set together, and I think I actually made like a joke on Twitter about this. Like, this is like, you don't find the sniper, he'll find you. Don't worry. I switch up the weapon with this. Honestly, I'd probably prefer this to have the sniper rifle at this point, though. On to Loadout B. I had this since last year. This is just, again, an edgy loadout, but I just really like it. It looks really cool. If anything, on the off chance that I finally do shoot somebody as a sniper and they see this, they'd probably appreciate it, you know? It's pretty cool looking. This is you. This could be you. Loadout C. This is just like, I don't know, like what I would imagine maybe the sniper could be like. Maybe if he was like British? I don't know. It's like my old chap loadout for the sniper. It's even got like a little pipe comes out right there and the sideburns. And onto Loadout D. This is, again, just it's funny because I make these serious looking loadouts for the sniper, but then I'm like one of the worst snipers you'll meet. So yeah, it's just kind of weird, but it's one of my favorites, and I really like how that Lech's LED looks for the sniper. And finally, we have my spy set. So these are probably some of my favorite actual loadout sets. The spy has really cool cosmetics. So like, this is like my like mafioso mob type look for the spy, and the Bloodhound and Dapper Disguise just have gone so well together, like ever since they came out. And you know, you can really swap up this cosmetic with tons to still keep that look going. I chose the business casual for this one, but you can pick honestly tons of others. Like, you could do this one, I don't even know how to pronounce this, but you still kind of keep the look together, type of that serious type of mobster look going. So it's honestly, it's pretty cool. It's one of my favorite loadouts. Yeah. Moving on to Loadout B. This is like my dark sorcerer look for the spy. I had kind of like a look like this before, and I think I was using the cosmetic from before, the Dapper Disguise, but I swapped it up once I found this, the Voodoo Vizier, and it turned out really well. I like it a lot. It's a pretty menacing look. Onto Loadout C. This is just my super French. Obviously, the spy is French, so this is like the super French version, though. I just think it fits the theme. He's even got the nice little cigarette out there, and the black and white striped sweater underneath his suit. And finally, onto Loadout D. This is the Red Mask loadout. Or the Red Skull, my bad. The Red Skull loadout. Honestly, if I was trying to go with the theme more, I should probably change this to the Black Hat version that I bought. But really, in game, I kind of like the way that the other one looks. Just the red one. So I kind of like that look better. But it's kind of cartoony looking and cool. I mean, which is awesome since it's based off of a comic book character. But so with that, I put this big kill, which kind of looks like a cartoon gun to begin with. And I keep the kunai with this because I use this loadout a lot. And I'm not the best spy, so having a crutch like giving me full health after a kill really helps players like me survive as the spy. But yeah, that was my Loadouts 2020 edition. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave a comment below if you've got some cosmetics you think I should add to any of these sets, or some cool ideas you've got of your own. And if you even want to show me some of your own cool cosmetic combinations, feel free to join my Discord. I'll link it below, and you can post it in the Loadouts section of my Discord and show me yourself. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until my next project, later.